On today's episode of Keep It Coming podcast.
You had Botox?
I have never had Botox.
14 years ago. What made you literally randomly decide, I'm going to start a podcast?
I started to lend out money. I got burned on almost every single one.
Never sent a deposit, so I just blocked him. And then he went crazy and was like calling me on all these different phone numbers.
All right.
Yeehaw.
Welcome back to the Keep It Coming podcast. I'm tongue-tied. We have Alexander from
He
On the
gets so
Rocks.
nervous around me.
Well, I used to always call him Alex, and he would hate it.
Nobody
Why?
calls me Alex because nobody calls me Alex because people know.
Well, it's kind of funny because people call me Tony or Anthony. You know what I mean? And I
They
don't
call
give
you
a
other
shit.
things, not to your face, though.
Oh.
So we were just talking about this, Alexander. So you have less views, but you make money.
Oh my God.
What a way to start. Yeah, I feel like I'm on the Wendy Williams where she was trapped to. How you doing?
Right? Well, we like to keep the very beginning spicy for us.
Yes.
Spicy. All right.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. Have you ever had Botox?
I have never had Botox.
That's
when
crazy.
you're a curvy
Really?
girl, it like fills out the lines.
No, you look great. I've always wanted to ask you, but I figured I'd wait till this moment.
So I'm going to be very honest because people ask me about my skin a lot.
Yeah.
I use L'Oreal for Men, which is like a $9 thing, and I put that on in the morning and at night,
Okay.
and that's it.
Wow.
Wow.
But like I said, when you're a little curvy, when you can fill things out, you know.
Wow.
Like if I were to lose a lot of weight, you would be like, "Ooh, what happened?
That happened to me.
What happened,
Yeah.
girl?"
So a lot of
Please.
people.
I had to
I
get it
haven't
all
seen one line on you
pulled-
ever.
I had to get it all pulled back. That's why.
So we don't have very many straight viewers, but most straight people don't know
No,
the
we
difference.
do.
They don't know the difference between. We have one, and
No, we have
his
a
name
few
starts with a
straight.
T.
What have I walked into?
That was a good one. Oh, that's funny. I love
Anyhow, so most straight people don't know the difference between Botox and filler. Shayan, fill us in.
it. Okay, so yes, Botox is just to freeze the muscle,
Okay.
and filler is whenever there's volume loss to add volume.
So everything I've read is because I do Botox, but I've never done filler.
Yeah.
But I've heard that filler never goes away.
Never.
Like that's why it'll actually draw to the bottom of your
Yes,
face.
it
And
migrates.
that's it's
Ew.
crazy.
So
I
that doesn't
didn't-
up in your chin?
It could, well, like for example, for lips, you notice it the most in lips. So when you get your lips done at first, it looks amazing, but then eventually it starts to like go over, and you have like a little shadow, and then you have to go in and dissolve it, and then
No.
redo the lips.
No,
Yeah.
no, ma'am.
That's wild.
Like, why would you want to put anything in your face that's permanent? Because your face shifts and all that. You're gonna have like
Right.
something out there.
Yeah. Why would
Botox
anyone
is-
get
is
surgery?
fine.
Yeah,
But here's
so
the thing:
gross.
our community, like the queer community, they think that they need Botox like at 24 years old.
Some
So by
do.
the time that they're like in their but the time that they're in their 40s,
Yeah.
it's like they already look like.
Well, no,
not
but
good.
like it freezes the muscle, so I feel like you're.
I
not
think it's
moving.
preventative, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I
It's
started
the
at
filler
Botox
that-
at a pretty young age.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm 54 now.
Well, that and he's also like half Latino, so. Yeah.
What half of Latino are you? The,
The
top or
bottom
the
half.
bottom half? That's not what I heard.
Tell us about yourself, your podcast, for people who don't know who you are or don't know what you do. You are on the Rocks
I don't even know
podcast.
what I do. I do celebrity interviews for a few magazines. I'm the publisher for Los Angeles Blade.
Love that.
But I've been in podcasting for
I actually
14
won
years.
Bartender of the Year on Los Angeles Blade. Remember
Oh my
that?
God.
20
Oh my God. And is this, I think this
2018.
episode will come out. Remember the first time Anthony ever went viral was remember that you went viral for saving bunnies from a fire?
That was actually funny. Yeah.
How cute was that? And it was like around Easter.
Actually, the funny thing is you remember that.
Did you set the fire
Yes.
yourself so you could film that?
No.
A lot of people did say that too.
Yeah, he went
People are weird like
viral, and it was all over, literally all over the internet. Like, man saves bunnies from a fire, and it was Anthony.
Well, I
and
was
they
just
put
like,
his
we're in
photo.
Malibu, and I'm just like, there's like rabbits running, and I'm just trying to chase them
Yeah.
down. I wasn't like saving them. I was trying to catch them, but you know how hard it is to catch a goddamn rabbit?
And they put a photo of him with bunny ears on.
Yeah, they did actually. That was kind of funny. I forgot about
was
that. I actually
so
forgot about it. She
cute.
remembers the craziest
Yeah, I
shit.
love it.
remember that at
It's my
all.
favorite.
So On the Rocks podcast
I've
is
had
about
On the Rocks for 14 years.
Wow.
That's wild. So you started when Joe
14.
Rogan and them started, right?
I don't even, I don't follow Joe Rogan.
Okay.
I've listened to him a few times. I'm like, okay, that's not what I do.
Yeah.
But we started, and people called it internet radio at the time. Nobody knew what podcasting was.
Right.
But we started filming our podcast from day one. We were at Sunset Gower Studios
Wow.
on a network called UBN,
Wow.
and I had no clue what I was doing.
Wow.
But it was such a unique concept, and celebrities, we know celebrities like to talk about themselves, and my show is drinking with celebrities. We drink, and I get a little tipsy, and then we talk about everything. We talk about sex, we talk about grief, we talk about mental health, we talk about their co-stars who have bad breath. I mean, we talk about it all.
Wow.
And that was such a novelty at the time because you never heard your celebrities be able to talk for like 2 hours on end.
Right.
So celebrities started to really like to be booked on podcasts. And
Yeah.
since I was fresh and new to the scene, I didn't have any credits. I didn't have anything, behind me. So I was very lucky early on to get relationships with PR reps, and that's the key.
Yeah.
Be friendly with PR reps because they'll send you their clients.
Interesting.
And so early on, I had like Ross Matthews was one of our first guests.
Oh my God.
I had people from like classic Hollywood among the first, some reality TV people, and that's what solidified it. And and I learned a lot though. The first couple of years, if you look back, and I have looked back, it's a mess because I thought the more the merrier. We'd have 6 to 8 people on each podcast episode, and that was just a
That's
disaster.
a lot of people talking over each other. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought, oh, it's fun. Everybody's drinking, and that's the key. And it was just a mess.
I came on to one of your episodes when COVID hit. Remember that?
Oh.
No.
Yeah, we did an On the Rocks episode.
Oh, that's right. It was all Zoom.
Mm-hmm. It was one of the
my
very first ones with
God.
you did all the bartenders from Mickey's.
Yeah, we did a episode with bartenders because they weren't working.
Was that when I was drunk in the background and like screaming?
I think so. Probably.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was having sex in the other room, and,
my
and Anthony
God.
Anthony texted me like, "We can hear you." Or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
It was really
That was,
bad.
I mean, that was a time.
So wild.
COVID
time.
is wild.
We also did an episode with the Go-Go Boys too because they were out of work
Yes.
too.
Oh,
And it was
yeah.
fun because they got to present and talk about their lives in a whole different way.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, COVID was very good for podcasters.
Po-
Right
For
before
all
COVID, I was
podcasters,
kind of,
yeah.
I was kind of like losing my energy and my passion for it. But everybody was sitting at home, so celebrities I didn't have access to, all of a sudden were like, well, what the hell? I'm home anyway.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why don't I just do this podcast?
It was
and
good
so we had another range of great guests, and that
Yeah.
re-inspired me, and it helped.
I mean, I would say COVID was good for that and OnlyFans too.
Oh my God. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Shayan's band again,
Yeah, for 3 days.
How do
this
you
time
get
it's
banned from
this time it's
OnlyFans?
my fault. Well, they're actually
No,
really strict.
It's not
like
your fault.
they.
I know you can't have animals. You can't have anybody that's not documented.
No, but not only that, you can't mention meetups. You can't
Not
if
at
someone
all.
wants to pay you off platform like Zelle or Apple Pay.
Yeah.
You can't do that. You can't do what we got in trouble for. Someone was like, "Where are you located?" And I
Yeah.
put, "Oh, I'm in LA. Where are you?"
You
You
can't.
cannot
Yeah.
say
No.
that. And I'm like, LA is so broad. It's a 30 square mile
Yeah.
fucking city or whatever.
Yeah.
And yes, we got in trouble for that. And because someone was like, "Oh, I want to meet up and I'm going to send you a deposit right now." And all I did was say, "Sure, Apple Pay." And like, boom, banned for 3 days.
Yeah.
And like, they are so crazy about it.
But I
It's
think the
actually
guy
annoying.
reported me because he was being crazy. He never sent a deposit, so I just blocked him. And then he went crazy and was like calling me on all these different phone numbers. And then I think he reported me.
People are getting
Yeah,
so
this is at like
weird
4
out
o'clock
there.
in the morning, by the way. I was like, I need to get to sleep because today was going to be a long day
Yeah,
with
yeah, yeah.
What do you
podcasts and
expect talking to
everything.
somebody at 4 in the morning?
Yeah, oh, for sure. Hey,
Yeah,
money never
tweaktastic,
sleeps. So.
literally.
How much was the deposit, by the way?
What?
How much was the deposit?
Well, it was like he was supposed to send 300, and it was gonna be like probably like a 1K, like just me, and you know,
for you, girl.
why not? You know. Just
And then
gotta do it.
Cheyenne's also banned on TikTok Live.
Oh yes, till Thursday. Yeah, for bullying, which I didn't bully anyone, but TikTok Live is my new favorite thing. for
Who did you
sure.
bully? Like,
No,
come on.
no one. All I would do is I would just go and like talk to hot guys, and it was actually really crazy because it's such a great way to like meet really hot guys all around, like literally all around the world.
TikTok Live?
Yes.
Okay.
News
And
to
they're
me.
hot and they're young and they're just like they live too. And it's funny because they'll like be a little, you know, shy, like obviously on camera, and then they'll all message me and they're like, hey, like let me come out to LA and hang out with you. Yeah, it's crazy. But I didn't know people can make a lot of money off of TikTok
Oh,
Live.
yes.
Yes, I didn't know.
I mean, if you know how to use a platform, you can make money on any platform. People are like, "Oh, well,
know.
Facebook is over."
Oh,
It's a
no.
certain
Facebook
market,
is
and it
Yeah.
depends how
great.
you sell your
Yeah.
product. And we're all
Yeah.
products, and
Yeah.
So it really depends. But there's no platform that you can't make money off. of.
Yeah.
Well,
Wait,
shit.
yeah.
Go for it.
Oh wait, but so 14 years ago, what made you literally randomly decide I'm going to start a podcast?
So this is actually a very funny story.
Okay.
My degree was in theater, so I thought I was
Okay.
going to be a Broadway star. I had an
Theater
opportunity.
fag.
Yeah,
Oh,
to-
sure,
same.
sure.
I was a theater
Jazz
fag.
hands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
jazz
I was like, "Ah."
Damn.
So I came to LA and I did the thing, and I got cast in a national touring production of a show.
Okay.
It was a Broadway touring production. I'm like, oh,
Wow.
okay. Stupid me, fell in love so young, and it was my first kind of like real gay relationship. And I thought, I can't leave for a year because the contract was for a year around the nation. So I passed on that, which looking back was probably the worst regret of my entire life.
Oh my
Damn.
For a stupid boy.
Damn.
And so my manager was like, you're not serious about this. My agent was like, you're not serious about
Wait a
that.
minute. Wait a minute. Are you Aries?
No, Virgo, but I should be a Leo.
Virgo.
I was gonna say, I'm seeing a common denominator here.
The Aries. Yeah, we're a little passionate.
Anyway, long story short, so like my agent manager dropped me, and I'm like, I'm in LA, so I got into banking. Because I had done banking as a senior in high school.
Me too.
I was a teller.
Same.
And I'm telling you, if you don't know what career to go into, go in banking because the turnover is so high. If you're smart, you rise up the ranks
for sure.
super, super
I was
fast.
an operations supervisor at like 18.
Yeah, 100%.
That's wild.
So
that
that's how I
or
started.
a truck driver.
Oh,
Yeah, but
hell
then you
yeah.
have to like put in the hours. Banking, whatever. And you can have sex in the vault too.
You
True
can
story.
have sex in your truck.
Oh,
We know about truck stops.
we
Sniffies.
do. Right? Damn.
Anyway, so I had done banking in high school, so I went to banking. I was a new accounts rep, and then just went up the ranks super, super fast. So I went over to commercial banking because that's where the real money is.
Okay.
And you don't have to be behind the desk crunching numbers. That's not what commercial banking is about. It's about relationship building. It's about packaging loans and all that kind of stuff. And I just, boom. So I became one of the youngest vice presidents with City National Bank in their entertainment division in Beverly Hills. My office was right there next to Rodeo Drive. And my clients were all the A-listers. I mean, all the A-listers you can imagine.
Yeah.
And that was my daily thing, was being their
This is back in the
relationship manager.
1940s.
You're not too far behind, Botox. Anyway, so one of my clients, she was an actress, and she invited me to one of her film premieres. And it was a big party. And so I went, and I like to drink.
Yeah.
This woman loved to drink. So the party ended, and we're at the bar with martini after martini.
Yeah.
The bar's closed, but she knew the owner, so they're sweeping and cleaning. It was 4 a.m., and he's like, just close the door when you guys are done. We stayed up till 4 a.m. She was telling me Hollywood stories. I was telling her stories. And she says, I just bought a podcast station. We're constructing it right now. It's at Sunset Gower Studios. And I was like, what the hell's a podcast? She's like, just come in the studio and we'll see. You like to talk. We'll just see. So I went in, had no clue what the hell I was doing. And I sat down. She put a microphone in front of me. She's like, let's just talk like we did. 2 hours later, she's like, you need to have a podcast.
Nice. That's cool.
So I structured a show, had no clue what I was doing. And it was trial by error. But little by little, I started a podcast.
Yeah.
And then it became that career decision. What do you do? Because I was making so much money for somebody so young. Here's the thing, I was spending all that money too. It wasn't like I was being smart about it.
Oh, for sure.
But I had that security. But then I had this, and my boss was like, your passion is just not here anymore. You're just not present. You're always gone. Because I started doing red carpet interviews, and then we started recording at all different times, and I was invited to these events or to prides across the nation.
Yeah.
And so I had to make a decision. So I left banking. I left my 6-figure job with no security, cashed out my 401k. And for 2 years, it was the biggest struggle of my entire life. I lost my Lexus. I lost my apartment. I was almost homeless. But I was still doing the red carpet thing. So
you said you would like
sometimes-
walk down the street in like a suit or something.
100%. So I would be doing the red carpet interviews or invited as a guest to these events.
Wow.
Had no car. And this was kind of before Uber was really, and plus I was broke as a joke. So I would walk 2-4 miles in my little, outfit, whatever, with my gear to do the interviews, but nobody knew the difference. I'd show up all sweaty and tired.
Wow.
But you kept at it. That was the thing. You just kept at it. And it was like 1.5, 2 year mark, and then it clicked. And all my friends were like, what the hell are you doing? You gave this up.
sure.
Then you find out who your real friends are because they believe in you.
Right.
And I believed in what I was doing. And the success was there. It just wasn't monetized yet. And then it was that 1.5, 2 year, and it just clicked.
Okay.
Then I started getting paid for appearances. Then I started getting paid to travel. Then sponsors were like, hey, can we sponsor your show? And I was like, boom, boom, boom. And it was like having to deal with that.
Yeah.
And now so many opportunities have come from that podcasting. Your success as a podcaster is not just podcasting.
Right.
Yeah.
It's being hired to do appearances, to MC shows.
Right.
And this led to writing for magazines. They're like, you do great celebrity interviews. Why don't you do it for our magazines?
Yeah.
So GED Magazine, MetroSource Magazine, National LGBTQ magazines,
Yeah.
doing that. And now I'm the publisher for Los Angeles Blade, and I host other podcasts as well.
Wow.
But it's like you have to build your empire,
Yeah.
but you cannot sleep. And I love my nightlife. You
Yeah.
have to balance that because
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
I don't do that so well.
Yeah, I'm definitely where you were, like when you left your job and your stability.
It's so scary.
It's so scary because obviously before, I've been very open about this, I was an escort and I was making bank. Like, honey, I had all the Van Cleefs I wanted, all the purses I wanted. I lived a very different lifestyle. And there was kind of a moment where I just woke up and I was like, what am I doing? I'm not fulfilled. This is not going to be like, I'm not going anywhere with this, And I just felt like I needed to find something that I had purpose in. And so when we started the podcast, it was like, okay, we started the podcast. I started off the podcast with like maybe like 30K in savings, like
Good for you, girl.
8K in the checking, you know, Amex, zero, no debt, no nothing. Now it's bad. And I had a moment where, you know, I've had to sell some purses. I've had to sell some Van Cleefs. I've had to do a lot of things. And I mean, I don't want to sound like tone deaf because obviously like I'm going to Coachella VIP tickets. Like I still can buy
The struggle's
whatever
real,
I want.
y'all.
No, yeah, like I'm not like in your situation where it's like that. But it is like such a moment where I'm like had to really like dial it back on my ego and just really be like, fuck, what am I doing? And I had a moment with Anthony where I was just like, I think I'm going to quit. I think I'm going to like be an escort again. Like it's just easy. And especially for girls out there, I don't think people talk about how hard it is to get out of escorting because there's just nothing that provides that type of money so fast, not taxed. And it's wild, and you don't have a boss, you don't have anyone, you don't have to worry about what you say, what
And there's
you
always
do.
customers. Because people are looking for that connection. There will always be customers for an escort.
Yes.
And no matter what kind of escort you are, too. I mean, you're obviously gorgeous and, you know, people are dropping dead to, you know, to be with you. But it doesn't matter who you are. There's a client for every kind of escort.
Yeah.
But that decision is so difficult. And we know in entertainment, it's all about smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
So even if you're broke and I had to walk 4 miles,
Yeah.
you know, still on camera, so I still had to get the outfits and make sure that my haircut was there. And sometimes it was really tough because it was like you had to hide the rough edges.
Yeah.
And there was a time that I was like, you know, I'm going to go back into banking. And there was an opportunity to go back for a commercial bank. And it was back at my salary. And I was so tempted. And I went on the interview.
Yeah.
And in the interview, I just stopped paying attention to what the guy was saying. I'm like, I hate this.
Yeah.
This is why I left. And so I didn't take the job. But that was because that was when things were really rough.
Yeah. No, it's really scary for sure. I mean, I definitely had a moment the other day where I looked at my account and I had negative $97. I mean, granted, I still have like I'm the type of person where like I put everything on a credit card and then I pay off the credit card, like a charge card, because you get points, you get to fly for free. I haven't paid for a flight in like 5 years. Basically like cheating the system in a way. But I can still spend that much money on my Amex, but actually having tangible cash at this moment, I don't have that. And it's so crazy. I've never been in this position. But at the same time, it's like I can see the sort of light at the end of the tunnel. Like I can see it and I can see what my life could be. I just feel like I have to go through a little more hurdles to get there.
If you want some advice from an older person,
Yeah.
I have to tell you, and it sounds so cliche, but if I wouldn't have had that struggle and if I would have gone from my 6-figure job to having the success as a podcaster or as an entertainment personality,
Yeah.
I would still be broke because I would be spending all that money
Wow.
and my values wouldn't be there and
You're
I
right.
wouldn't value the hard work that I put into it.
Right.
You know, when you empty your bank accounts and when you lose your car, the most embarrassing thing of my life was seeing my car being repossessed.
Oh,
Damn.
fuck.
I mean, literally,
That's
and my neighbors were knocking
crazy.
on the door, and I was like, I know, I knew it was coming, and I was just waiting for that knock. I was just waiting for that knock, and seeing beautiful Lexus, and it was like, you know, that was my proud thing. My car payment was like $700 a month, which is stupid, but I wouldn't have valued the little things in life. And again, it sounds so cliche, but it's true. I wouldn't have valued the relationships that I built during that time. And I wouldn't have valued how much work I put into this because it's now it's like, that's my baby that I created as like a single parent with no help.
Right.
And so I value that a lot.
Yeah.
There we
Oh my
go.
God, I love that.
Sponsor
Thank
me.
you. I really needed to hear that.
Girl, you
for
call me
sure.
anytime. But there are the times that you do need to vent and shout and be like, I'm over this shit.
No, literally. No, last week
And then you
I
get it
called
out?
him and I literally was bawling, crying. I was like, I don't think I could do this podcast anymore. I can't afford it. I can't do it. Like, because I don't think people realize like it costs a lot of money to.
People don't realize that. And it's the hours to put.
Yeah.
You don't, it's like,
This-
oh, I sound so good on a microphone. Let me have a
Yeah.
podcast. It's not that.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
I spend the same amount that I was paying for my studio on monthly on this to live. Like it's like living somewhere basically, and it's like, you know, it's tough. Sure. It's a scary moment.
I mean, granted, there are cheaper ways to do it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But we chose.
But there's so much competition out there.
Right.
And this is when somebody comes up to me and says, hey, I want to start a podcast. Any advice? And I say, the first image you put out there is what people are going to remember.
For sure.
And people are only going to give you one chance.
Yeah.
So before, it'd be like, yeah, I can record a podcast in my garage or, you know, just on a shitty microphone. You kind of can't anymore because there's so much competition. There's so much noise out there. People are doing this. if your product isn't glossy and stands out, then it's going to be lost.
Right. And I think even when we went into the show, like we wanted it to be like a show, like a performance, like kind of bring back a little bit of the Hollywood.
100%. The Johnny Carson show, the Joan Rivers show, like that.
Sunny
that is
and
so
Cher.
lacking. Yes.
Exactly.
That is so lacking.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, I've scaled it back recently
You're like,
a little
"Oh."
bit. But like I will get back into it. I've had a little bit of an ego blow these past few weeks. Yeah, it's been a while.
Which, it's they're your battle scars, and one day you're gonna be proud of your battle scars because you're gonna look back and say, "This is what I did."
Yeah.
But venting and quitting, I always say yes because I said that to myself. I've said that to others, and then the next morning you wake up, and it was just like when you drink and you just spill all this stuff, and the next day you're like, "Oh God."
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of felt that, but that's not really what I meant.
And then you go through our text conversation and you're like, oh shit.
But sometimes you just vent.
You're like, doors open, unlocked.
And then you're like, no, I really missed this, and I am gonna get back.
Face down, ass up. Got you. On the topic of money, do either you guys ever let people borrow money?
Oh my God, this is so funny. You asked me this.
Wow.
This last year, I mean, if it's $20, $50, $100, we've all been.
I'm talking
in
about
that.
substantial amounts. If someone hits you up for $1,000,
The last year and a half, because people are struggling, and especially through COVID. Like I said, COVID was very good for me, or good to me. People came out of the work, people that I really cared about, and these people were going to lose rent. There was a lot of situations not even to be able to buy food, and so I started to lend out money. I got burned on almost every single one, and these are close friends. They're still my close friends. I just know that I can't help them anymore. Because it does sour the relationship. And it's so hard when you see somebody suffering. But when they say mixing money and friendship doesn't work, it really does not.
No,
yeah, there's a way to go about it. I mean, I lend out quite a bit of money, and I almost never get burned. But it's also something where, you got to make sure that you're first in line, because I've realized that, if they're asking you for money, that means they probably already own their car. They probably already owe maybe someone else. They already owe their credit card. So those are going to come first before you get paid.
Right.
So that's why when I lend out, I make sure I move my way toward the top. I'm like, all right, you're going to give me some collateral, or, if we're signing something and it's notarized, because I will put it against you. Like I'm very on it, but I mean, I like lending money. I don't know why, but I love it.
But I think people know that about you, that you are responsible. I'm so bad with money. I mean, to this day, I'm bad with money. I'll blow it on a weekend in Palm Springs. I'll be like, what the hell did I do? And people know that about me. These are my friends that know this. So they're like, he's going to spend it on something else anyway. And I think that's the...
And I'll say something is you might be able to relate on that's annoying as fuck is when you do lend people money and then you see that they're going to Palm Springs the next weekend, or that like... This just happened recently. Like I lent someone money, and then all of a sudden I get it. It's their birthday, and they did go to Vegas, and I was like, so it's kind of like an eye roll, because I'm like, you owe me, quite a bit. But like at the same time, I'm like, you know what? Let them have their birthday. But it still is like, bitch. Like I sit there in the back, and like this could turn into Loan Shark real quick. You know what I mean? Like,
but it's all assumption. When I was going through that rough, difficult time, I was still going on trips and stuff. It was a lot of it was sponsored, or I would have a friend saying, I got you for this, but a lot of people assumed that everything was okay. So you also have to be careful with that.
For sure.
And plus, if you lend somebody $50 and they spend $10 of that to give themselves some joy, that's okay.
Yeah.
So if he needed that birthday vacation, you'd be like, I was part of that and I made him happy for that time.
Right. Me at Coachella and I'm Molly with negative $97 in my account. Like, yay! Full outfit, full literally. Yeah, no, it's wild.
That's the smoke and mirrors thing that
For
that
sure.
we have.
Yeah.
And the pressure to impress who? The pressure to impress everybody else is so heavy.
Absolutely.
It affects our pocketbook. It affects us emotionally. It affects us mentally.
And it attracts the wrong type of people too.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
Are your friends there
The
because
users.
the glitz and glamour? Yes. Yes.
The users. For sure. For sure. Oh. Wait, so question. Obviously being on a podcast, you talk a lot. You share a lot about your personal stories. Have you ever had someone contact you because you shared a story about them?
No.
Okay.
My show's different than your guys.
Okay.
So my show, the focus is usually on the celebrity. If it's something that I can relate to, such as the loss of a parent,
Okay.
or going out too much or drinking too much, that's something. But the focus is usually on them.
Okay.
So I can usually shy away from that.
But like, let's say you went through like a heartbreak with a guy, and you're just like, you have to go on camera the next day, and then you just want to talk about it. Do you?
I don't really though.
No?
And I never give names.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
ever.
I'm learning laws and rules now. Apparently,
She's tippy-toeing around a really big subject.
Yeah.
by
So
the way.
apparently, well, because I've been very open and honest about basically why, like the whole reason why I changed my path in life was honestly because mainly a heartbreak, honestly, because it was like I hit rock bottom. I was in a really bad situation. And then I also realized that I was surrounding myself around someone that I felt like did not getting back to the value. And so when I started the podcast, I was like, I want to be open. I want to be honest. I shared a personal experience, and he wasn't upset with the fact that I shared a personal experience. He was just upset that I used his name. Well, I didn't use his name. Anthony said his name. But when I looked at everything basically and read all the laws, I'm like, oh my God, can you sue me or that or whatever? I mean, technically, if they're a public figure, you can talk about them, and he is a public figure, so.
Here's the difference, though. Like, you use your life story to share and inspire people.
Yeah.
And your type of influencer type is different than my
Right.
influencer. Like, me being an influencer is not on me and my
Yeah.
life. It's just about my brand and
Yeah.
nightlife.
Yeah.
You really share a lot with your life because
Right.
that's why people follow
Yeah.
you. And you have so much to share from being an escort, from the trans
Right.
experience. And so your stories are very important
Right.
and valid. So
Right.
sharing a lot like that
Yeah.
is important. And that is your thing.
Yeah. And it's crazy because like he at first tried to guilt me. Like he was just like, hey, like if you could just respect this new path I've taken in my life. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, at first I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. But then I think to myself, no, you cannot be a terror to society and use a girl and say things to her like, oh, I love you, but my family will never accept you because you're trans and they're both priests and all this stuff. You cannot live this lifestyle. Have a girl in my car, gaslight me saying you don't know who she is, saying I'm crazy, and then date her and walk away with no scratches because it might not mean nothing to you, but it meant everything.
You weren't
to
protected,
me.
so why would he be protected?
Exactly.
It's like, I'm happy for your new life.
Exactly.
But that's not my experience with you.
Exactly. And that's
Start your own
That's the
podcast.
thing with these
Damn.
yeah, exactly. And that's the thing with a lot of these like straight boys who dabble their toes into the queer community. It's like we're not just like Barbies that you could just play with and throw away when you're done with. Like we are humans. Like we have hearts, we have souls.
Oh, I
we
thought
have,
you were a Build-A-Bitch.
But it's just like,
God, that would
you
be
know,
such a great pop-up.
and it's like, I don't know. And I
Build-A-Bitch.
maybe also because I am trans, I value relationships so much more because it's like, first of all, the dating pool is, you know, finding someone that's comfortable with being around you is one thing, accepting you fully. Then you have to go through like, are they a chaser? Are they fetishizing you? Do they actually like you? Once you kind of run through all of that, then you kind of like assess and then you're like, okay, I'm going to cling on to you because you didn't leave. You know, and maybe that's a toxic thing that I do myself. You know, I'm not perfect, but I just think like, I don't know, I value love so much. When I tell someone I love you, like I genuinely mean it. Like I don't throw that word
Yep, she
around.
says it after 72 hours.
Once you get the new Amex, you're like,
Yeah.
But here's the thing about, everybody's complaining that we're getting too woke. What I like about getting too woke, and this it doesn't matter if you're queer or straight, but we're holding men more accountable for their actions,
Right.
for communicating their feelings, for
Right.
communicating the truth. And this is straight women with straight men, too.
Yeah.
Straight men are now being held more accountable
Right.
because we're talking about our own mental health, we're talking
Right.
about our own needs, and we're being strong and sticking up for ourselves.
Right.
And that's what I love. Straight men, they've had to change a lot.
Yeah.
And not done.
It's just, I think it's just taking accountability. Like it's,
100%.
it
Which
literally
we all
is
should
just
do.
a-
Like
yeah.
you said, we've all made mistakes. I've made plenty of mistakes.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you apologize and then you move
Yeah.
on and, that's that.
Yeah.
Well, why don't
No,
you tell
for
us about
sure.
your biggest mistake you made?
Giving up that role for that national tour.
Okay,
Whatever
okay.
happened with that, love?
Oh my God, 6 months later, nothing.
Really?
Yeah. How dumb was I? But like I said, I came out super late in life. I didn't have gay sex till super late in life. And I didn't even know
Wow,
what I
that's
was doing.
super late.
Huh?
What is super late to you?
Maybe 24?
Oh, same. Well,
Yeah.
23 for
Okay.
me. Yeah, that was when I lost my virginity.
So I was new to like having a relationship. And it
Yeah.
was just so dumb. So dumb.
Yeah.
And I just wonder, because I would have toured for a year in a Broadway show, and then that would have.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And he probably still would have said, no, I'm just kidding. No, everything happens for a reason. It really does. It really does.
What's the difference between queer and gay? There we go.
Queering it.
To me, queer is like an umbrella.
Yeah.
Okay.
So queer is anything under the spectrum. You could be curious. You're a little queer.
Yeah.
Queer's like it's like the parent company. It's the shell company. Gay is this business. Bi is this business. Do business with each other.
Yeah.
Can they meld sometimes? 100%. But you look at it like a corporate structure.
Yeah.
And I come from old school gay. When you came out as bi, when I first came out, it didn't mean you were bi. It meant you were gay, but you were so afraid to say you were gay.
That was me.
As if bi, but that was the thing. As if bi was like, well, he's just a little gay. That's okay, I guess. He still is with
But
girls.
it's just because like the word gay was so derogatory, like so
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I'm older than you, so coming out of like the AIDS era, when I was a little kid, being gay through the 80s and 90s, being gay meant that you had AIDS and you were going to die,
Right.
or that you were
So my
having
mom
sex in the
told me,
bushes,
yeah.
which we know still happens. But
Yeah.
it's a whole different culture. Or you were the sassy hairdresser that happened to have a small role on some show, and that was it. And I grew up in conservative Orange County in a Latino Catholic household.
Oh.
So gay was not even a word. I didn't even know when I was having feelings towards boys. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
So we didn't have words like queer, and bi was that. Even being gay was so weird, but it was like, you were gay. Bi was just an excuse to get to the station of being gay. But queer used to be a
derogatory term.
It used to be such a negative thing, especially
Right.
we're talking about Holocaust time. I mean, queer was like, it was like the N-word.
Yeah.
And so I have mixed feelings about it because it still triggers me.
I don't like it.
Really?
It's so weird because like if I wanted to be really like just politically incorrect, I'd be like, using the word queer is so gay.
Yeah.
It's very floral to me.
I love that word.
It's very floral to me. It's very like kumbaya, everybody's welcome. I'm a gay man.
There we go.
I like to date
I've never been able to put words on it, but yeah, you said it perfectly. Yeah.
I like to date gay men. Am I into super feminine men? No. I'm a gay man because I like men. Do I do this sometimes and my voice gets high? Yes. Can I change the oil in a car? Yes. Can I like get down and dirty? Yes. So gay to me means I want to be with another man.
So wait.
Which is going to get it. It's so politically incorrect, but that's what comes.
I just want to know.
Yes.
When's the last time someone checked your oil?
Well, I Uber everywhere now because I'm drinking.
Oh, wow.
So you're single.
Yeah. I mean, I'm focused on my career.
Love that.
Oh, really?
I'm having more sex than I ever had in my life, which
Really?
is so weird.
Wow.
Where do
Because
you meet these guys?
out and about.
Okay.
Because I'm out in nightlife a lot on the apps.
Okay.
You know, sometimes you just got to order in and you
Yeah.
got like 10 minutes. And it's so weird because I've never been so out of shape in my life. During COVID, it started and Carl has not stopped. And so I've never, I
No, they like them thick. We learned that with Shayan. When
yeah.
Shayan got skinny, she lost all of her suitors.
It's just
Yeah,
so weird
literally.
because all my life I've dealt with body issues and gaining weight, losing weight.
Same.
I used to be able to lose weight so quickly and
Yeah.
I'd be back to my high school 28-inch waist in a matter of weeks. That is not happening. Even working out, even watching what I'm eating, you're talking to the only person who gained weight on Ozempic. They're like, are you sure you're doing it right? Like literally a nurse had to come to my house and be like,
Well, you're not supposed
okay,
to
you're
eat
doing
the
it right.
Ozempic. You put it in you. He's like
So I've
spraying
never-
it on his dessert.
like, squirt, is it working? But I've never felt so out of tune with my body.
Yeah.
But then I've never been so, not in demand, but there's just this, but, you know,
It
like
could,
you were
it could be an
talking-
age thing too, though. I've noticed as I'm getting older, these young boys, they are just.
Anthony, you've had young, old, every kind of boy since the day I met you. I mean, come on. But to your point, and I'm not saying that I'm familiar with the trans experience at all, but it's also because I'm thicker, I'm older, I'm Latino. I've been called Poppy, I've been called Bear, and it just sets me off because all my life I've fought these body issues, you know, and it's like, oh, gotta get skinny. So I'm not comfortable where I'm at. So when somebody likes a thicker guy or they like the bear, and I
You
feel
think it's
so
like a
out of the bear
like
community.
fetishized almost.
100%.
That's how Shayan. Yeah, I get it.
When somebody calls me Poppy in bed, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't mind that somebody's attracted to me, but not just because it's a certain category.
Yeah.
And so I have this love-hate thing. It's like, yes, I enjoy the sex and I love the attention, but is it real? Is it something that I connect back with?
Yeah.
For
And
sure.
so I'm very happy being single because until I feel confident, I don't want to spend time on that kind of connection. But having
So-
sex, I mean, it's insane.
Wow.
But in regard to what you're saying, then I'm sure you would feel different about it if you were the one paying for it, though, because then it's like you're setting an expectation, right? Because like, have you ever paid for sex or?
I mean, not.
Sorry. I mean, just like you said, you didn't know the trans experience. Like I personally, I like paying guys to come over.
So I have,
you know what I mean?
tons of friends who escort.
But I could see how it's a fetishized
Yeah.
in a way because they're there just for the money, but
you
it's an
still know
expectation.
it. So I haven't paid for sex outright. Like, here's, $500.
Yeah.
Here's my hour. I've done things where like, hey, let's go to Palm Springs, and I got, your weekend and
covered.
drinks and all
Yeah.
that. That happens often.
Yeah.
I know when somebody's hanging out with me for like a night out, do I get what I need? They get what they need, and
Right.
companionship, yes.
Right.
But I haven't outright paid for sex. But I always know they're here for that. They're not there for me.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, so it's not an enjoyable experience, even though I get what I want.
You're a lover.
From
yeah,
it.
you're
love.
romantic then.
I haven't
for
felt romantic in
sure.
a long time, though.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Neither have I.
No.
I'm entering my slut era again.
Okay. And that's
Yeah.
empowering. That's like you get this confidence, you get what you need, and then you go on with life.
Yeah.
We really don't need somebody else.
Yeah, for sure.
This whole asexual movement, which is under the queer umbrella,
Didn't know about
yes,
that.
you can be a queer asexual.
Oh.
It's like you
want the
identify
reading
as
rainbow.
queer, but you
Yeah.
just don't want to have sex with anybody. You just don't have those feelings.
No, I literally the other day I was like, I'm gonna be a slut again. I downloaded Hinge, found a 24-year-old, had him come over, and had a great time.
24.
23. And he called me mommy in the bedroom, and I
see?
liked it.
No.
Wait, I liked it though, low key. And the fact that I'm 33, 23, wow, it's so wild. I know, 10-year difference. That's so crazy.
But in today's day and age, it's really not.
No, towards women, there is such a bad stigma against it. It's so crazy because and I
But
would
with like Sharon Madonna, who are dating like children.
well, not only that, but like, okay, pop culture moment.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on Bonnie Blue? Do you know about her?
No.
She's she's going viral. She's
She's
like
the
from
one
like
that tried to fuck like 1,000 guys.
yeah,
right? I
she
don't know.
Oh, okay.
filmed that she fucked over 1,000
Yes.
guys, put it on only OF, and then
Yeah.
it got flagged or whatever and taken down. But basically, she's going viral. She just makes all the best like clickbaity content. And recently, she started going viral because she was talking about how she loves like barely legal teens, which is like 18 years old. It's still legal, okay? But she's like, oh yeah, if you're like a barely legal teen, like to the front, like all that stuff. And it's like so many women. I'm finding that majority of her hate is coming from a lot of women, which is so wild to me because it's like, okay, I get it, like yes, but like men have been doing that shit for thousands of years.
Yeah, she
And
had a
for-
good point. Even on porn, it's like barely legal teens. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like,
And that's made by men.
In gay porn, we have twinks as well. Like it's on both
Yes.
sides. Yep.
And it's made for men too. So it's like what the fact that she's just saying, you know what, let me take that power back. And then someone was saying like, can you believe 1,000 men lined up for her? Do you know any
I'm like, where?
yeah. And then she was like, do you know any women that would get in a line for men? I'm like, yeah, it's called rappers, basketball players. Like
Yeah.
they have women out the door,
Yes.
fucking at their hotel rooms. Like Justin Bieber, are you kidding me? So it's like the fact that she's just taking the power back and just, I don't know.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's a lot of moms because a lot of
I was
moms
gonna say.
they'll see their
Yes.
18-year-old and they're like, he's not an adult yet.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And these
they
are
wanna
moms that are
coddle
having to
them.
like
And
get the
moms
socks
that like
from
secretly
the
want to like
room.
fuck their
But real
For that
quick,
woman, 1,000 men. I mean, you do. You.
Yeah,
Oh my
I love
God.
her. I honestly, I don't know her moral compass, and who knows what she might
It's not
say
her
in the
business.
future. But at the same time, like from what I've seen, I'm just like, period. Like this is great. This is empowering. I love it. Like she's just having a good ass time, and she looks like she is having so much fun. So
And sex is fun.
yeah,
Taboo stuff is fun. That's why it's
Yeah.
taboo. It's like, ooh, it's hot. For some people,
Yeah.
that's their fantasy.
Yeah.
People love gangbangs. People love a train. Like,
yeah.
do that.
Yeah, and going back to the whole like, you know, the moms aspect of it, I hope the future person I date, both of their parents died in a fire. Because
my
I
gosh.
don't ever want to deal.
All these men are setting their parents on fire
Damn.
right now.
I don't ever want to deal with someone's mom or dad. The dad's great. They love me. Anytime I've met like my boyfriend's dad, they all love me. They're all like, damn, you're hot. Like the moment the sun leaves, they're like, you're hot.
That's another kind of
Damn.
porn. That's a whole other
Or like,
Yeah.
or like I've had some be
Family.
like,
Family.
I've had some be like, hey, like I like it too, or like you like low key. But the moms, it's always just like judgment, disgust. I could be in a turtleneck and it's just disgust. How dare you steal my son? And it's like, ew, can you just please die in a fire? Like, please.
That's wild.
Like, it's literally what I want. Just no baggage, no nothing. Or even like when people are really close to their siblings. I dated a guy who was
that gets weird.
really
Yeah.
close.
White Lotus, season 3.
Yep.
Snapchatted his sister What? No. Ew. Don't Snapchat your sister. Like, Snapchat is for dick pics and dick pics
Oh my
only.
gosh.
You're Snapchatting your sister?
Damn.
So gross.
Let's do our coming in hot segment real quick, which we actually stole from you. But
We did.
I'll be right back.
Serenity. Oh, the tantalizing experiences of an old.
Not too much fan.
You will be able to take big dick in your ass. Use it at your local bathhouse. Use it everywhere. Great for gifts. Poppers.
All right, so we got our coming in hot questions. Don't forget to ask us any questions that you want us to answer anytime, anywhere. We don't know where yet exactly, but somewhere. Go for it, Shayan.
So the first question is, this is actually from someone who asked me on my TikTok live. They said, being on a podcast, and you can answer this since you have a podcast, do you ever worry that something you say is going to be interpreted the wrong way and you're going to get canceled for it?
100% all the time. And I can't tell you the stupid stuff that I've been called out for.
Like what?
I made fun of JoJo Siwa once, and I got all these fans
That's funny,
coming out
actually.
because she looked ridiculous, and I'm going to call that out. The stupidest
JoJo.
thing that I ever said, I made a Helen Keller joke. And I was like, oh my God, even Helen Keller knows you're gay. Ha ha ha, because,
That's
Okay.
funny.
I got such hate email
Really?
from the disabled community saying you're making fun of people with a disability.
Damn.
And at first, I was like, oh my God, I felt so bad. And I'm like, this is really ridiculous.
Why did Helen Keller get kicked out of the nightclub? She was reading lips in the bathroom.
Girl, 1,000 lips in one night.
I didn't laugh. Cancel culture, I didn't.
So, but what I did was I took that as a way to turn it back. So on the next episode, I said, I really appreciate the comments, and I did not mean to offend anybody. Most of all, Helen Keller and her legacy. If she wants to give me a call, we'll chat it out, and it'll be fine. Duh. I mean, she's dead and she can't call. So it kind of took that back, though. It's like, I acknowledge that I might have offended and I didn't mean to do that, but I'm still going to own the joke.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, because I hate when people just like backtrack and then they're like, oh, you said it, you did it.
If you didn't have malicious intent, there are influencers out there that are malicious and
For
they do
sure.
have bad intent, or they just want the clicks. It's insincere, and audiences know when they're not being sincere. But when you say something
Absolutely.
out of turn, like, we talked about queer. Do we like the word queer? Not for us. Could people want to cancel us for that? 100%.
Yeah.
We don't have malicious intent.
Right.
We're just saying how we feel.
For sure.
And we can be educated on that, so the next time we know,
Right.
we're doing it a little bit differently.
Yeah, no, for sure. Oh, I mean, there are moments. Obviously, in the beginning, I would tiptoe around a lot.
You
of
guys have said a
things.
lot, by the way. I'm like,
Oh yeah, but I think people can genuinely tell that like my intention. I'm a bimbo. I'm just having fun. Like literally, my intentions are not like I don't actually want to like commit arson to someone's like mom and dad.
unless he was 9 plus.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah. I mean, there are still times where I think I just want to be a little more mindful because, oh my God, my new stim lately has been like, I love saying like, if that's going to age well. And like, I keep asking myself or I keep saying like, I don't know if that's going to age well. I don't know why I love saying that lately, but yeah, I always wonder, I'm like, oh my God, am I going to regret this in like a few years or something? But also at the
It'll
same
age
time,
like Nancy Pelosi.
like what?
Wow, I thought we were going to get political.
But also, whatever. What about you, Anthony? Are you worried about?
So next question.
No, here's the thing. I know you believe and say a lot, but you just don't really do it out. Are you afraid of being canceled?
Not at all. I actually, to be honest with you, and people probably already know this by now, I wanted to work backwards. I wanted to start off being canceled and then go backwards. I was like, you know what? Just let's fucking throw it all out there and just like, who gives a fuck? Because, you can only go up from somewhere.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it would suck to be at the top of somewhere and just be taken down. Like, we have a
one
really
little
good
thing.
friend named, who he doesn't watch this, but he does car content. None of your friends watch your shit. You
Isn't
know
that
what
the
I mean?
weirdest thing? My
Yeah.
closest friends, family.
None of them watch.
Oh, I haven't.
I used to
haven't-
tiptoe around saying their names, and then I realized I was like, none of them watch this shit,
Yeah.
which is fine. And
Yeah.
so, one of my really good friends, he was canceled. He was one of the best content car creators like ever, literally ever. He decided to get fucking wasted while driving a car.
Oh, no.
Rapping about his Rolex with a gun. And
Well, that's stupid. I mean,
dumb,
that's just
like the
stupid.
dumbest thing you could do in the
Sounds like a
entire
good
world.
sign to me.
But
Coachella, here we go. I need a ride.
He was like, I think just like
What's his name?
he like grew up in social media, so he thought he was invincible. You know what I mean? These
Yep.
influencers think they're fucking invincible.
Yes.
And he did something, and they done. You're done. He's
Sipping
been
and swerving.
the last like 6 years. He's been trying to build himself. He'll never get to where he was,
Yeah.
unfortunately. And if he does watch this, I'm sorry. I love you to death, but it's gonna take a miracle. Let's be honest,
just
to
a
get
really
back
stupid
to where
brand.
you were. But you know, it's like, wouldn't it have been better to him just start off drinking and driving, make the apology, and then make your content? It's like then they'll bring it back to round like, oh, that was that one guy that didn't drive that one time. You know,
I
it's
don't
just,
know about that.
I don't know.
Drinking and driving is a very delicate subject because so many people have lost people to it.
Yeah, that's
So, I mean, I have a few DUIs that I'm not proud of. And so I've learned.
Yeah, you learn.
But that's a very sensitive subject.
Yeah.
It's not like we say things that we
For
believe in.
sure.
And I interviewed Margaret Cho like 2 weeks ago, and she said, right now is not the time to pussyfoot around anything. Now's the time to get what you believe out there and discuss it or inspire other people.
Yeah.
So I think all bets are off right now. Socially, politically, all bets are
It's
off.
true.
Yeah,
It's true.
it's
Especially
very
with
true.
Meta and Mark Zuckerberg completely removed like any
Yeah.
filters at all. Like
Yeah.
my Instagram algorithms have been, they're already pretty crazy. They're even crazier.
Yeah.
I was like,
They're
bro,
really crazy.
don't go through my shit.
Yeah.
I'll look like a sociopath even more.
Even more.
So this question right here comes from an anonymous guest. And it says, does Shayan know the hours for The Zone? Which, by the way, The Zone is a gay sex club in West Hollywood.
It closed
I've
before
talked
COVID.
about
And it says she keeps referring to
been
the
there.
sex club. She's really dating herself because that place has been closed since 2020.
Okay, well, first of all, the last time I went was when I was a boy, and
that
that
you?
was like,
Damn.
and that was like fucking like 14 years ago, and I was like 18. Yeah.
Yes. So that answers that question.
That was a fun place to go.
That was a shady. That was a
It
shady
was
question.
a good. That
It was
more of a
clean. There was a
That
place
was
for
a
everything you
sa-
want.
yes.
I went twice with a boyfriend I was dating. We were just curious, and I have to tell you, it was we knew people
The
there.
floors were a little sticky. The floors
Damn.
were a little. It was very.
I mean,
like
so was Mickey's though.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Remember when you guys had that sewage break and it was just
Yeah.
shit water
That was,
everywhere?
that was actually crazy. So we had a sewage break, and the dance floor at Mickey's actually is the lowest part of the bar. People don't know this. The sewer got backed up and filled the dance floor. All of these drunk straight women who were there celebrating these fucking whatever bachelorette parties were taking their shoes off, thinking that it was an actual water party. They literally were thinking that they were having it
Oh my
smelled
God.
and reeked of shit, and they're sitting there and they're just like having the time of their lives with their fucking shoes and heels off, thinking that the water was there intentionally as like some slip and slide. It was the most disgusting thing.
Straight
I've
girls in
ever seen.
WeHo, like they just
But-
want to be an
no,
experience.
I would have done that shit
Oh
too.
my
I'd be
God.
like, ooh, water
That is so
slide.
gross.
Literally, it was like we were all sitting there just like,
If I was drunk, yeah, I would have like fucking dude, like that's shit
Oh.
water. It's crazy.
So this next question comes from my good friend Bryce. It doesn't say anonymous, so whatever. But he says, how do you get past the fact of wanting to be just an influencer, but everyone making fun of it? And I could see we probably don't relate because everyone in LA, it's like a rat race. They want to be influenced. They want this and that. But he is also from Reno, Nevada, where, you know what I mean? The idea of an influencer
the outside
is
looking in.
cringe. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like,
Oh.
which is true because when I first met my influencer friends, like Cam and all them, I was like, I never want to be an influencer.
Yeah.
It's cringe. They're always sitting there. They're always on their fucking phones.
Yeah.
I don't want that life. You know what I mean? And here
Yeah. I would
am.
always be like, your lame ass friends. And then now I'm
Literally.
like, hey, so can you help me out?
You want to do a collab?
Yeah, no, literally like, hey, make sure you do that pop tag.
But
But I think it goes back to like that woman sleeping with 1,000 men.
Yeah.
People that put that down are a little jealous.
Yeah,
Do we all
for
want to
sure.
get paid to travel the world just
Absolutely.
for doing this?
Absolutely.
Of course we do.
For sure.
And
Yeah.
the word influencer has really changed. Just like being an OnlyFans content creator, and COVID changed all of
Yeah.
that. Because people who said, I'm never going to be an OnlyFans or I'm never going to be an influencer were taking their shirt off every
Yeah.
other day during
Right.
COVID because they needed the money,
Yeah.
number one.
Yeah.
Number two, that was the thing to do. So I think the stigma about being an influencer
Yeah.
has definitely gone away.
yeah, I mean, the
Yeah.
money, that's the thing. It's
Yeah.
truly, and the same thing with Shayan and I is like, even my close friends were like, oh, we didn't think you'd make it this long. Let's be honest. You didn't think we'd make it this long. And
I was like, Anthony, who?
yeah. And
Other than an Adam for Adam, I didn't know how
and
popular
now
we
like
were.
all bitch. And now
Old school platform.
it's still around though, shockingly.
How do you know? Is it-
Yeah, it is. Has someone
Who's on
Adam
it?
for Adam.
Yeah, someone was telling me they're still on. It's like a whole thing where they
Dang.
yeah, it's A for A and they have app.
I miss Craigslist ads.
Anyway.
I loved Craigslist.
Anyway, go ahead and
ads.
ask us
Sorry.
your questions on any platform, and we'll answer them. Love you, and yeah, so we love Craigslist.
Yes, I love
I miss
Craigslist
it so much. Just the
ads.
thrill of getting the email and like all the
I used
craziness.
to do misconnections.
I love
Oh my
misconnections.
God.
You could write a script about every one of those misconnections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wild.
I miss the days
I
when I
remember
would.
being like, I saw you at Starbucks.
Oh my god!
You were dancing in the sewage at the dance floor.
No, for sure. I remember I used to do so much cocaine with one of my really best friends, and we would get cracked out. We'd be up for like 3 days straight just doing lines, and then we'll post a Craigslist ad like 2 hot trans girls bored. And it was just and then we'd one by one just invite them over just to party with us, and they were all like hot guys.
Were they really?
Yes,
I did it for the thrill. I never like actually. Invited.
I
just
mean-
liked seeing the email come in
Yeah.
and seeing what would
No,
pop up.
I love chaos, so I was like, oh, sure, just
do
bring
like
it.
chaos.
Yeah. Now I've been a little anxious lately. I don't know why. I don't know where this newfound anxiety has come up. Maybe
Life?
from like not doing drugs, and maybe just being like, oh, I want to be a little more mindful. But also, I'm like, I don't know. I'm trying to get back to my old ways. I feel her coming back in a good way.
Just let it happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Coachella will be good. I'm
Yes.
ready to let the fuck
Yes.
loose.
Yep.
Like,
Same. I got my cowboy
yeah.
boots.
Yeah, we're going. Are you going to?
No,
Oh, no.
that is not my scene.
Not your
whatsoever.
scene.
Nope.
Really?
Nope. Ever.
Oh my god.
So
If there's a porta potty there, I'm not there.
Really?
Never.
Oh shit.
that's wild. WeHo Pride.
You're there.
I'll go home and go to the bathroom and I'll come back.
Oh my god. So what motto would you say you live by at this point in your life?
That's a good question. You know, there's so many mottos out there and everything sounds so cliche, but you know, I hate to say it, I wish I would have listened to my elders, so to speak, more, because now I feel that I'm giving advice that it's like, God, it sounded so trite at the time, but everything is 100% true.
Yeah.
Such as objectifying money, objectifying things, bad relationships, nightlife, all of that. I wish I would have focused early on. I had to learn a lot the hard way because I just didn't listen enough. I took everything as a criticism, where it was like, no, if somebody's telling you, hey, do this,
It's constructive.
it's constructive. It's because they care about you. So it's not a motto per se. I would just say, like, listen, actively listen. And us as influencers, we're so busy putting stuff out. Sometimes we forget how to listen.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about listening to the cashier at Trader Joe's or something. You know, like, how are people
That's
communicating with each other? But do you know what I mean? It's the little things that. What's wrong with Trader
I
Joe's?
can't. Those
cashiers?
cashiers are just too much for me.
Some of
right
those
now.
I
guys
love
are
that.
hot. The Trader Joe's cashiers, and they wear the little khakis. Are you kidding?
I don't know.
It's like
I'm
Staples,
the-
UPS,
yeah.
Trader Joe's men. I will take you home.
I'm the opposite. I talk way too much, and I'll talk to anytime anyone goes to like a grocery store or something, I will talk to literally every worker and be like, oh my god, and like gossip with them as if they're like my best friend. And people are like, okay, we gotta go.
But here's the thing about that too, because I used to be the same way.
Yeah.
And it sounds egotistical, but when you talk, you're giving so much of your energy away. And so what are you giving back to yourself? And that's when you listen, you actually get the energy back.
Yeah.
And you put yourself in a different place.
I don't know. I think I genuinely I've always been a very curious person.
I'm so nosy. That's what
Yeah.
makes us good podcasters
Yeah.
too. I'm so nosy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But
This
at the
goes
same
right
time-
to a good topic I want to talk about then.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. So I don't know if I'm the only one in the world, but when it comes to being nosy, whenever I see that somebody has died, I want to know how they fucking died. I
Oh.
have to know how.
Absolutely.
But it actually, I've noticed though, if they're hot, I'd like really have to know. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but like, I may not know this person at all. Some random person will post, you know, I'm going to miss Coachella.
I always click on their profile.
It'll be like,
Always
oh,
click on their
I'm going to
profile.
miss Coachella with you this year. It was so sad. And I'll look at the picture posted and it's like some like good looking person. And I'm like, how the fuck did they die? And I go in this rabbit hole and like, I'll go through all their Instagram posts
I do too.
to see like, how did he die? I need to know, how did they die? Like, I'm like, am I the only one that gets this crazy about
I'll
this?
go to their last post to see what
Yep.
their last post was because I get so nervous. I'm like, what if that was my last post and that's what people are going to remember me?
Yeah.
But we are fascinated by death. That's why true crime shows on TV and podcasts do so well. We are obsessed with death,
Right.
especially if it's somebody beautiful because it's like, it's so tragic in a beautiful way. And this last couple of months, we've lost like 3 major gay porn stars.
really?
Young, heart attack, home accident, and heart issues. And
Why
so
all
the
heart
assumption
issues?
is like, oh, either drugs or bodybuilding.
shot.
And it's the conspiracy theory. But it's just fascinating. But here's the thing: we are losing a lot of younger people lately. This bitch.
Yeah, funny.
I love the fuel
That's
that fire.
so funny. That's
Well, because have you noticed that though? When someone young does die, the fucking first comment is, "I probably got the vax."
that's great. I mean,
cracks me
first of
up.
all, commenting
No,
that
it's
on
not
someone,
that. It's they were on drugs.
Yeah.
commenting that on someone young who died, like, is just crazy. Like, I'd literally be like, "Fuck off!" Like, this is like my friend, you know? Yeah, that's crazy.
I think we're all fascinated by death.
But I think also it's because we're so far removed from death. Because we as humans, I watched this whole podcast episode on it. We as humans, especially way back in the cave days. I'm obsessed with the cave days stuff. I don't know why. I feel
She got rid of her brow bone all of a sudden.
I just wonder about like the gay cavemen. Like, what did they do?
Yeah, well, I think everyone just fucked and had a good time and just picked fruits and ate and just,
Pick
whatever.
fruits, if you know what I mean.
Right.
And I'm just
I
like,
picked mine.
and then you
off
would
it.
like turn a corner and like a fucking thing would maul you. And then it was like, oh shit, okay. But like we're gonna keep fucking and keep procreating and keep moving on. I think because we're so far removed from death, it's like the thought of death is like, oh my God, it's so crazy. But I'm sorry, like as humans, like that is, it's so hard for me. I'm telling myself this because I'm afraid of death, obviously. But I'm just like, life still moves on. It has to keep moving forward.
Well, that's a really interesting point because, like, in the Middle Ages, people would live to 30, and that was about
Yeah.
it. So it's like, you'd live every life, or you'd go off on a journey and know that you
Yes.
probably weren't coming back.
For sure. Yeah, it's so crazy. I know. That's wild.
Yeah. We got
On that
deep real
upbeat
quick.
note,
Yeah.
Literally, well, this is actually going to take into a deeper question is, when is the last time you cried, Alexander?
I cry almost every day, to be honest.
Wow.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Why?
I actually think I've seen you cry before, Mickey's.
Well, that's drunk crying is different than actual crying. Because you're like, I dropped my drink.
Oh,
There's a song about that, crying in the club.
oh no, my
Camila-
popper spilled in my purse.
Oh, R.I.P. Poppers.
I saw that,
What?
actually.
What happened?
Poppers might be a thing. Like, hoard up.
Yeah.
You guys should have your own poppers for your podcast.
We kind of
change
got a
the label.
pseudo
They wanna get
spot
rid of
sponsored by
poppers?
Scorpio.
Yeah.
Why?
Your beloved FDA.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
RFK Jr. administration.
Oh.
Poppers are bad. It's because a gay man said no to him once, probably. Allegedly.
I will say the one thing that I do love is I love a French fry, and he is saying that he wants to make all of them with beef tallow now, regulated.
Yeah.
Which is
instead of vegetable oil, which
instead of
yeah,
is
for sure.
literally poison. That's the only thing I've ever heard of this person that you say is my blood. That's
I mean, I meant in
the one thing I've heard.
the energy in the room. Someone, I sensed something in the
No,
room.
but that's the
loves
one
this
thing I've heard of is I was like, oh, cool. Like seed oils suck. That's awesome. I'm one of those like weird like seed oil.
Yeah,
like,
I don't like
beef
seed oils
tallow
either.
people. Yeah.
But like poppers, like let the gays do what they
Yeah,
do. I
it's
mean,
fine.
we've overcome
for
other
sure.
poisons that we do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But honestly,
And make
I
it
mean,
illegal, great. There goes the price of poppers.
Yeah,
'Cause we're
for
still gonna get it.
sure.
We're still gonna
yeah,
get it.
it's like vapes
Hey,
too. Hello,
New
Yeah.
venture.
Yeah.
for sure. I gotta tell a crazy story. Wait, you Ubered here?
Yeah.
Do you drive?
No, not anymore.
I was gonna say okay.
I'm very responsible. So, like I said, I had a couple of DUIs, and I thought, I just know myself at this point. And when I'm out and about, I'll be like, oh, I'll just, I won't even drink. That's just not going to happen. And so my show is on the rocks. All my appearances are drinking. All my podcast recordings are
But you're
drinking.
not drinking with us.
Yeah.
Well, because I have to record later. And I'll be like, So I know myself, and I know, you know what? I'm just not that responsible.
Yeah. Are you afraid of getting drunk? So like you might say something crazy and get canceled.
I have said many things crazy. I've texted crazy things too. I still do that, and it's rare and rare because I'm trying to be so much more careful about it. But it still happens.
Yeah.
We're human. But I
Yeah.
knew getting behind a wheel is inexcusable.
Yeah, I mean,
I
it
just
makes
know
life a lot
myself.
cheaper though. Oh, maybe
It
Ubers
really,
can
really
be
does.
pricey,
So
but
because
yeah.
of my DUIs and my car payment,
Okay.
my car insurance was about $2,000 a month on top of my $700 car payment.
yeah, for sure.
Plus, we're talking about parking, we're talking about gas, we're talking about maintenance on a car.
Yeah.
And I was the worst driver sober. So I would crash all my cars. So I was always, so it just didn't make sense.
Wow.
Yeah, it just didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Okay, well, now that we're on that topic, so I just got my car back. It was in the shop for about a week and a half. I don't know if you can really relate to this, but I'm just gonna tell it anyway because it's been pissing me off. But I love my cars, so
Yes, you do.
I have nice cars. And one of my cars was in the shop because I went off roading and it had some warranty issues, blah blah blah. So they gave me a rental car, which was like a normal. It was like a mom car almost. There's that Cadillac. Yeah. But it was like a.
It was nice.
I
But
had
it
a
was like
Cadillac once.
No, but it
I'm
was
not
like a
even kidding you.
Cadillac, like mini SUV, like the smallest
Yeah.
SUV possible. With the like, I don't know. Anyway, I've never been treated so differently in my life. I just
They
like
thought you were lesbian.
I don't know. Maybe I
With
don't
that
know.
haircut and those
off,
boyishly
bitch.
cute features. Lesbian.
No, but like I drive around in my normal cars, like I don't get honked at. I kind of just drive and do what I want and blah blah blah. I probably got honked at like 3 times in one day from just driving, and I was pulling out of my driveway, honk. I'm like, what the fuck? Where did that come from? And like the dumb shit that people just they I go to a stop sign and they try to like race me and get in front of me and cut me off and do things like this. Where I'm like, when I'm in my cars, like my normal cars, like it's different. Like I'm at the front, I'm the leader of the pack. Like when I go, no one challenges me. It's not a thing. I literally was getting frustrated because I'm sitting there and like, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, how is it that people drive
You were
around?
a normie for a few days. Oh my god.
No, I just don't know.
Poor you.
I don't know.
General public.
It's very.
But your cars are not just nice cars; they're statement cars.
Yeah, for sure.
And so people don't fuck with statement cars.
Yeah.
Especially in LA streets, it's just not worth it.
well, it's crazy because the other day he came to my house for the first time, or my apartment.
She made me
the
park on the
first time.
street.
Well,
but-
no. There's structured parking too.
That was
but-
the first time you'd been to her house?
First time.
In this
ever.
whole friendship?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's never been
So
to my
I'm really
place.
weird. People are gonna hate
Yeah.
on me for this. I don't like.
Not just for this.
He doesn't like to go to other people's places.
I don't like to go to apartments
Oh.
because I've gone in there a couple of times and like
Wow.
I've gotten lost in apartments. Like literally,
Yeah,
and she
yeah,
lives
yeah,
in a
yeah.
huge one. Like
Yeah.
those big ones where it's like you got to go through this door, and hers is even crazier.
Security,
We tried to go.
yeah.
One of the elevator didn't work. She goes,
Yeah.
okay, now we got to go up the stairs,
Yeah.
and then like you go. Every floor looks the same.
Security.
Their journey to a
Bitch.
friend's house is never too much, Anthony.
Oh no, this was like I was exhausted by the
But
time
you
Or
I
went
when,
got
to
I,
there.
or when I
apartment?
see the guys on Grindr like running around like with their phones,
Yes,
just
I
like,
can't. And then LA, it's like you got to deal with parking, you got to deal with doormen. She has door people.
Yeah.
You got to deal with go to the list.
That can be a little,
I
like,
honestly
security and
So I was like,
door
you
people.
know what? Come to
But
my house.
it was so
We talked about
funny.
this about hosting on Grindr too. I'm like,
Oh,
I'm not
yeah.
doing this. Like,
But it's so funny because when I walked him to his car, I'm like, wait, where's your Hummer? And then like I see him get in this
In a normal
random
car?
Yeah, and she
mom
was just
car.
like-
it was like seeing Santa without his
Yeah.
beard.
Yeah. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Now
Like,
here's
it
the
was
thing.
the
Do you hide
craziest
behind your cars?
thing.
Do you
Ooh,
have
that's
a
a good
different?
question. I
Do you
don't
have a
know.
different personality when you drive those cars, or are you hiding behind this monstrosity where people can't?
I don't think so because I like if I would see what you're saying. If I didn't like to tint my windows, then I could say I'm hiding behind the car because then I want people to see me. I want them to see me. I black my windows out. Like I don't want you to see me in a car. I just love having something that like. So before this, I had a Tesla. It was a Model X Plaid, which I was still paying the same amount for, but all Teslas look alike.
Right.
It doesn't matter if it's top, bottom.
100%.
Right.
They all look alike except for like a tiny little badge in the back,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
99.9% of people ever even
An
notice,
app
you know what I mean?
upgrade. That's it.
Literally. And like, so to answer your question, like I was spending the same amount that I was for the Hummer. It was like $2,400 a month for this car. And like, I love the car, but then I looked at it, I'm like, no one notices that I'm different. Like I'm spending $2,400 and I look exactly like every Tesla around me that's probably spending $700. So maybe a little bit. Yeah. You know what
There's
I mean?
some therapy in that.
Possibly. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I mean, we know that you value the hard work that you've done,
Yeah.
and you like to see that value around you in luxury.
For
There are
sure.
certain things about your personality, you know.
Yeah.
It's not like other people. Like you won't, stoop or you won't hang out with the normies on a certain level.
I'll say
that is part of your
I'll say
personality.
the craziest thing in regard to what you're saying is, and you guys are probably gonna think I'm fucking nuts. I cannot set foot into a house that has carpet, and I will not sit in a car
ridiculous.
with fabric seats. And I have a theory behind this because you can never fully clean that carpet because I've torn carpet out of my my other houses and apartments where you see the bottom of that carpet and the stains that were never got out of there. There's from blood, semen, dead skin cells.
You've been around all that
fucking
anyway.
urine. But like
You had sewage at your work, for God's sake.
I know. We had an Ecolab in there. But
That sounds so elitist, though. Like, if your friend can only afford an apartment with, a white refrigerator
first of all,
and carpets,
not
like,
mine.
you go to the
hey,
house.
who said white refrigerator?
I could know 'cause people like you say
Hey,
that, like,
you know
"A
what?
white refrigerator, do you know?
Hey,
a white
white
refrigerator?
Honey, mine is stainless steel. Thank you very much. No carpet, concrete. Okay.
That's ridiculous, though.
I don't know, but it also goes along the lines of like I'm a little bit of a clean freak when it comes to touching things, though.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I
men.
eat ass. You know what I mean?
Not-
Don't get me wrong, I love eating ass, but for some reason, this mental thing of just fucking the
I think
idea
you
of
have a lot of
carpet.
issues.
No, there's
You are a little
no, there's
OCD. though.
Neurotic.
I think that's you're a very business mindset, and I feel like there is a lot of organization with your life. So I see that, you know what I mean? Because like for example, we're going to Coachella, and I don't know why it's gonna be so interesting to see Anthony in that environment.
She wanted me
Yeah.
to stay in an influencer house, like in a
Yeah.
guest room.
Yeah.
I'm the
No,
type of
I
person that
can't
when I
stay
go
with other
somewhere,
people.
Who's like, I have to stay in the
I
master.
have to stay in the
I was
master.
like, what?
100%.
Or
Yeah, I won't stay in like people are like, oh well, I'll chip in for a house. I'm like, I'll be at the
Yeah.
hotel. I need like
yeah. She when she explained it to me, it sounded like I don't even know what I would do.
or the
if I have to share a
primary-
bathroom with somebody,
primary.
that's where I freak out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can't. No, I just can't.
Okay.
But Anthony, you might be missing out on certain experiences in life because
Absolutely.
you won't participate.
Absolutely.
I will say.
No, I agree with you 100%. Like, I'm the
Yeah.
guy that, like, given the opportunity, I'd rather take a helicopter to Coachella and then sit in traffic. But then, like,
That's
I
the
also.
fun. You listen to music. You tell
Yeah,
each
but
other stories.
I
that you
value
have
time.
never-
Like, today, my day was so fucking back to back. Like, you understand. You're busy.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
are
yeah.
a fucking pain in the ass to even get into this goddamn studio, okay? I'm telling you right fucking now. Time above all. So if it's
Yeah.
if I can find
Time is
a
value, 100%.
faster way to do something, I will do it. You know what I mean?
That I agree
Yeah.
with, but sometimes the experience is that time.
Yeah.
Like, I hate driving to Vegas more than anything because I know that drive home is going to be hungover and
Yeah.
miserable. But when you're with friends that you haven't seen in a while and you're listening to your playlist, that's part of the experience.
But there's one experience that I cannot handle, and I'm gonna ask you guys this: what temperature do you keep your house or apartment at?
65 degrees.
Fuck no.
Ooh,
Fuck no.
that's wild.
See, Anthony and I, we like our place hot.
I will
No,
say though,
absolutely
at
cold.
night I like it colder. Because I like to sleep
Like
like,
when
a
you're
caveman.
sleeping.
Because like cavemen slept in the cold. To sleep on my bed is like
That's
super
normal,
solid
you know, when you put all the
and
blankets
pitch black.
Yeah.
like,
But like
100%.
to
But
him,
during the
cold
day-
is like 72
oh yeah,
degrees.
yeah,
Yeah.
72.
Yeah.
I would be like, I can't be here.
72 degrees to me is freezing.
When I go to a hotel room, the first thing I do, even before
I actually
put
turned
my
this air
bags down,
conditioning
is
on just
turn-
for you.
Perfect.
No.
Because I
'cause-
remember when we were in your place, it was fucking frying, and you kept
Well,
complaining how hot it was.
Yeah. I love the cold. I love the
No,
cold.
I know. And so when I go with my friends, every single one of my friends besides Anthony, I go into their apartment, it's 60 degrees, 65
Yep.
degrees. When I was staying at Coachella, someone put the temperature down to 54 degrees.
Yep.
I didn't even know temperature could go down that
didn't even know
low.
either.
I woke up screaming. I was like, oh my God. And this like thin blanket. And I literally thought I was dying. I don't like the cold. I am Persian. I am a sand person. You know, honey.
For lack of a better word.
Yeah.
I'm meant
You're
to
not the
be
only one
in
though,
the
because
heat.
I
From Texas, I like it hot.
But even like cuddling somebody, I'll cuddle you for 15 minutes and then that's it because it gets
Yeah,
too
same.
sticky and heaty.
But
and I'm just like, go
Yeah.
over
it's
there.
funny because I'm a micromanager when it comes to my Airbnbs, and I have the Nest thermostats. I'll go in, and some of these like the bigger houses, they'll have them at 50 something,
Yeah.
54 degrees.
Yeah.
I will literally turn that shit up on my phone. I'll be like, you are not charging my fucking electric bill. Like,
I find it
it's
interesting
so funny.
though that you'll go to an Airbnb, but then you have problems like going to other people's houses and carpets and all that. That's why I like going to hotels because you know that they have a regimen of how they have to
But you
clean
don't
it.
know that. You don't know that.
I check.
Okay.
But I have more faith in hotel cleaning than I do in an Airbnb in somebody's weird house.
I suppose. Yeah, it just I mean also the Airbnb is like it's not your just typical Airbnb.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But
There you go with that elitist though. It's
no,
like,
but
oh,
I'm saying,
let's have
but to
this-
answer your question though, like I've never stayed in like a standard Airbnb. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
To be honest with
I
you,
get
I've probably Ubered
ranch.
twice in my entire life because I also don't trust people driving behind the
Right.
wheel.
Yeah, he
You know what I
doesn't
mean?
trust them. It's
so
so
I always
weird.
feel like if I'm going to die in a car, it's because of my bad driving, not because of yours.
Right.
Like,
Whenever I see him play Passenger Princess, I'm like, whoa, this is so crazy.
yeah,
It's
and it
wild.
almost never
Yeah.
happens. We'll have a whole full episode of things I don't like.
Well, is
That won't be an
that's
episode.
a-
That'll be a whole
Is that
season.
technically a stim, right? Stim, right?
stim?
A stim. It's a new word I learned.
What is a
It's like
stim?
anything- So a stim is basically like, so you'll get like random stims. Like I'll get random stims recently. Like I remember I could not stop saying period, period, period. Like that's like a
Oh,
stim.
everyone wants to play a drinking game for you. Of
Every time I say,
whenever you say, she goes, "Wow," or like,
yeah, something.
"That's wild."
But
or
I'll
some
get like
shit.
random stims, basically. Like I'll get obsessed with saying a certain thing.
Okay, bet.
Yeah, yeah. Or like I remember I kept saying
Even
I
saying
like
stim is a stim,
Oh,
I guess.
I say
Yeah.
type shit all the time.
yeah.
Type shit.
He does. And I used to always, me and my friends, we always say I likes to party. I don't know why. It's just, I don't know why. I just have to say it. And like, we'll have a serious conversation. I'd be like, but do you likes to party? And it's just a stim. I don't know how to explain it. You know what a stim? Do you have any weird?
I mean, I have
They're
like
saying
things
it's
that I always
related
say.
to like like it's basically like related to a form of autism.
Like a pop culture hiccup where you just say something.
Yeah.
But it's almost like a Seinfeld episode where they would say yada 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 all the time and it sticks with you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Never watched.
Oh my god, I just aged myself. It's on every night.
Tell us about your love life.
Love life, like I said, I
Non-existent. Oh, you're just having a lot of sex and no relationships because you've
I have a few
so much.
like friends.
Got it.
I have friends that I'm intimate with on a regular basis, and that's enough
Wow.
for me. There's no
Oh, wow.
weirdness. But
Cute.
like I know certain people that are just like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
So, is there anything that you want our viewers to know about you,
Not
Like,
really.
other than just to tune into On the Rocks or what?
I mean, not even just that. I would just say, if I've learned anything, it's just like to truly be yourself. We're so into labels now with what is my label? What are my pronouns? What crowd do I fit into? And it's like, that is so exhausting and don't waste time on that. That's the only thing I would say. It's like, I'm big. Do I fit in the bear community? No. Am I Latino? Can I speak Spanish a million different ways? No.
Yeah.
Am I gay? Do I watch reality TV? Yeah. Am I at the clubs every night? Sometimes, but I don't subscribe to all the things.
Right.
It's like you don't have to.
Can you tell us what you initially thought when I told you I was starting a podcast?
I was like, who? Why? Because I only knew you from behind the bar. And so I knew that people liked you for the way that you looked and you were flirty with everybody. That's all I knew. So as a podcast, and I hate to say it, but I hear from so many people almost every day, oh, I'm thinking about starting a podcast.
Yeah.
And you guys know how much
it's so
how much
hard.
work it is.
Yeah.
So I roll my eyes. So I rolled my eyes at you because I didn't know that part of you. I didn't know about your entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about that. So
Yeah.
I did roll my eyes. I'm like, oh, I'll give it a week.
Yeah.
And look where you are.
Yeah.
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 Thank you. Still not making any money, but
Hey,
Yeah.
you're right on that edge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right
you just
on-
have to be creative
on the
of how you get the money.
yeah. So
Ah.
Instead
Alexander,
of going after that
we might have to hire
$10,000 sponsorship,
Alexander as
no,
a manager.
but I'm saying instead of going after that $10,000 sponsorship because you hear that's what other podcasts are getting,
Yeah.
start with the little stuff because that's going to build.
How did you two meet? You at the bar, right?
Yeah, the bar.
Mickey's.
Yeah.
Everybody had a crush on Anthony.
Yeah.
My boyfriend at the time had a crush on Anthony. My
What
ex-boyfriend.
do you mean
at the time
had?
a
They
crush.
still do.
Not with the filler moving around.
What? No, he doesn't have any filler. No.
No, but that's how I knew him. But I knew
Yeah.
him as the bar boy toy.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh my god.
So that's why, people judge you on their first experience and all that. So
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, it's time for Shayan's favorite part of the episode.
Already? Game time?
Unfortunately, Alexander has to leave us for his podcast.
Oh my god.
and I have to pick up vodka too.
I know. He
Wait,
has a
what
hard out at
time?
6:15.
Oh my god.
I
A
know.
hard front at
We
Do you have
6:15?
vodka here?
Yeah,
Can I buy a bottle?
I'll give you a bottle.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
will you
can't
stay
sell alcohol.
longer?
That's illegal. I don't have a liquor license. So,
Have someone Venmo me so I don't have negative $97 in my account.
no, it's game time.
Oh.
We do want to say thank you, Alexander, for coming in, and you are going to stick around for the
you.
game. We'll be right back. All right, so we're going to spin the wheel of sex.
I don't even know what to expect because I haven't seen what's on it. I just see the back
I
of
know, it's
it.
perfect. I love that.
Oy.
It's very racy.
Okay.
Spin it.
Oh, okay. That wasn't much of a spin. I know.
Yeah, what?
That was a very queer spin of you. Ooh. Oh, we can't really do that one.
What?
Pour a drink sexily.
Oh.
No, spin it again.
Okay.
Yeah, we really do.
There we go.
So this one is the person next to you sensually stroke her arm and or leg.
Well, that's easy. That's like Morticia Gomez Adams, right?
Oh my
Cute,
god.
I love
If
that.
we went to a Halloween.
Can we do
would
that
be
for
a-
Halloween
yes.
this year?
Yes.
Oh my god,
Perfect.
I would so do it.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Why was that difficult?
I don't know. Okay, we asked ChatGPT for these. This one is craziest sexual encounter.
You have?
I mean, I don't know. We've talked about almost all of them. The craziest would probably just be like something that I've done with Shayan, where I came home and she would be like,
How about the guy that took a photo of you after we hooked up with him?
"Oh, that was crazy."
What happened?
We hooked up with this.
An ex-con.
Well, and he's an MMA fighter,
MMA fighter.
but like
Ex-con.
comes over and like he sits there and like he walks up to me as we're like standing out in the living room.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, come here, come here." I was like, "What?" And he's like, I need to get a picture of you." And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, just like in case anything happens, like I know where you live and that type of stuff." And I was like,
Yeah. Basically
Okay.
told him like, if you ever talk, like I will.
Yeah, wild.
He's scary. Went to jail for assault.
That's hot.
Yeah.
yeah. But of course, I'm like, oh my god, went to jail for assault. Let me invite him over.
Yeah.
What? I'm such an
Literally.
idiot.
That was a crazy story. I forgot about that.
Yeah, but took
So
a
many.
photo of him. Like, I'll be watching.
It's probably on his mirror. He's probably like this every night.
Probably.
Yeah.
Dun, dun,
What? I can't read. Intimate eye contact, 30 seconds plus hold hands. Ew, I hate this
No,
one.
that's not a good one.
No, let's switch it.
Yeah.
Next.
These are like for fifth graders. Like, who made this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need one like
ChatGPT.
do 1,000 guys right now.
Oh my god.
That's what I okay, can I be real and Kai clip this? Okay. So I am looking for I'm gonna beat her record. Okay. I wanna beat Bonnie Blue's record. I wanna fuck 2,000 men.
Oh my
so
God.
if you are from the ages of 21 to 28 and you are tall over by tall
I mean, there goes half.
mean,
Literally.
Yeah, there goes
by
half of
tall,
that.
I mean like anywhere from 6'3" to 6'5" with a good body. Sign up.
She literally just like basically
Yeah.
if you're coming from Lithuania
Yeah.
and you play for the basketball team,
I just don't think
That's
somebody's
it.
like body could physically handle that. Though,
I
like medically
want
wise.
to. I want to beat her record. I want to do it.
oh, kiss the person next to you's neck.
Aww.
I don't know.
Nah, we don't have to do that.
Yeah, I don't want to
Yeah.
catch anything.
No.
Oh,
I don't want to get anything. You mean?
what the?
I have carpeting in my house. You wouldn't want.
So
to.
this one says Alexander kiss Shayan's feet.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of men out there that would pay a lot of money for that.
You got to get out of here.
Yeah, you gotta go.
We actually didn't put these on ourselves.
Yeah.
It was Miss Nadia.
Dirty, sexy telephone.
Oh, you have to call someone.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, call someone.
That's
I know who you should call.
I know.
We have a mutual friend.
Yeah, I'm.
Who? I want to know.
We can't say his name, but
Savannah.
Oh,
is it who I think it is? The game should be
he always picks up too. That's so weird. We talk
know.
like 20 times a day.
maybe he's dead.
No. And he said, "Call me when you're done."
The suspense is real. No
He has to call
way.
someone else. Always answers.
Call someone
Try
else.
one more
Let me-
time.
yeah.
It's an emergency. My pussy is burning.
Be sexual.
Oh yeah, you
He
gotta
always
say it.
answers. Always. Oh, that would have been so good. Because he does know you.
Mhm.
Knows him.
Oh,
And I know him.
Oh
Oh, we met the
my
same person. How
God.
cute.
Oh, Eskimo brothers.
I was there first. Oh, that's too bad.
Damn.
Oh, that would have been really, really good.
Well,
wait, call someone else. No, I want it. Come on.
call your mom.
She's dead, thanks.
Oh, well, we'll get a psychic in here.
What?
She wouldn't be caught dead in here. Ah!
Vicky Box comes back.
Actually, yeah, let's hear how you sexy talk. It'd be like your dad talking sexy.
I met him twice. Thanks for the memories. Dead and he always answers
Damn.
too. Wow, they must know.
No.
I'm gonna try one more time because this one would be fun too.
We should play the game of like you have to call someone on your phone, they have to pick up.
One more.
Damn.
You gotta get someone.
This is about, you just gotta prove that people will answer.
Yeah.
That's the worst feeling though. When luckily it hasn't happened to me.
Wait, I'm gonna try the first one.
What?
It doesn't happen to me.
Calling someone like on the podcast and them not answering.
Yeah,
like,
we always.
damn,
That is
that's
so weird.
Wild. He's definitely balls deep in somebody.
No, he hasn't had some for a little bit.
Bring him over.
What's this? Is this someone else y'all know? Y'all know a lot of people, the same people.
Oh, he's gonna feel like an idiot later.
Aw.
That's
You guys
too
have the same type, huh?
Well, Kai, we'll cut.
No.
We'll cut
No.
some of
No.
that out so it doesn't
No.
look
bad.
so.
Not at all.
So no one. so sad.
Well, Alexander, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Wow, it's a real sexy time.
We're gonna have to have you back though, because time flew by and you were on a time clock.
Let's do a live, like an on-stage one.
Yeah.
Invite the people out.
I'm
Then
down.
we can actually
We
drink.
can go to
and
the
we'll-
zone. Oh wait, close down.
Slammers.
Is that a
Hey,
thing?
bring the poppers.
Maybe your first sponsor should be Slammers.
I don't
Who's
even know what that
Slammer?
is.
It's a sex club in Los Angeles.
Oh.
Am I allowed to go in? I'm legally a female,
Yes, she
except for
can.
my passport.
That's a good question.
Wait. What is this thing? Are you into leather?
Yeah, let me show you how leather it is. It says gorgeous. Thomas and I
Wow.
had this made at Knott's Berry Farm.
Oh wow!
Oh my
Back in the
God.
1980s. That's wild.
What?
I'm probably going to see him after my show tonight. So
Oh,
that's why I
okay.
went.
Well, tell him we said hi.
You're getting some dick tonight?
No.
Oh,
No.
I was gonna say.
Anyhow.
That
Well,
note.
on that note, Alexander, you want to shout out your socials?
Yes.
Alexander is on air on Instagram, or go to ontherocksradioshow.com and it has links to everything.
And I promise you, we're going to work on that quality of his videos.
Yeah, please.
Anthony.
Well, so that's all, folks.
If you want to watch more fucked up shit,
Make sure to go on Shayan's OnlyFans.
that's currently disabled for 3 days. But by the time this comes out, it'll be back.
Yeah.
So yes.
Shitty kitty. All right. Bye.
Bye.